Oh, let's say hi. I'm never gonna have a normal intro, for goodness sake. Hi guys. I'm back. And I'm better because my illness is now completely gone. I'm so happy I took my health for granted. So I'm gonna be doing a story time for you guys. It's not that interesting, but it's something. And at the time it was crazy still. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story about when I almost got arrested on New Year's Eve and could have very well spent my New Year's Day in a cell. What an amazing start to my new year. Anyways, my hair is still dripping wet. Like, my hair has grown so much since the big chop. Look at that. So basically, before I get into story time, I just want to let you guys know that I am wearing a Doubleleafwig. Thank you guys for sponsoring this video. This is possibly the longest wig I've ever worn. Look at it. It's 20 inches. I love it because although it's like super long, I like it because it's like wavy and it's not straight. I don't really like straight, super long hair. I've wet it because when you brush out, it's quite frizzy. When you first take it out of the packaging, it's really nice and really silky. But then if you start brushing out, it gets quite frizzy. And for me, it's just too hot for my head. So I just wet it and now I'm gonna quickly dry it and then I will get back to you guys in a sec. So I always like scrunch up to make it curly. Do you know what? I was gonna cut some inches off because as you guys all know, I always cut hair. This is the first wig that I've ever received that I haven't cut anything off. And it's the first wig I've received where I actually like the length and I actually want to keep it. It's like, it's a nice kind of heavy when you pick it up. It's like, you know the hair is thick. I don't want to blow dry it too much because I don't want it to start getting frizzy. It's a side parting hairline, it's not middle parting, but if you want to make it middle parting, you can. It's a lace front, so you can literally put the parting anywhere, you just have to pluck it. I haven't done any plucking, I haven't pre-plucked it, I haven't plucked the line either. I'm not that great at plucking and I can't even find my tweezers. So normally when I pluck, I literally just pluck it by hand, but I'm not gonna do that. I actually quite like it when I haven't touched it at all. It's quite rare, isn't it, to find a wig where you don't need to do anything and it still looks amazing, so. Just gonna leave it for now, and when my sister gets to London, I'm gonna ask her to do it for me because she's good at that kind of stuff. What I have done though is I've bleached the lace, and basically I always leave my bleach on my lace for a little bit longer because I like it when the roots get a bit blonde. I feel like it just, for me anyway, it just looks more realistic. I haven't even done baby hairs yet. Literally guys, what I'm wearing right now is how it came. The only thing I have done obviously is I've wet it, but apart from that, and obviously bleached the lace, but apart from that, in terms of like baby hairs, in terms of plucking, etc, I have not touched it. You guys can purchase this. I'm gonna put a direct link down below. I'm gonna give you guys a discount code also, and all of their social media websites down below. I would really recommend you guys buy this wig, honestly. Any wig that I ever promote on my YouTube is wigs that I myself enjoy and love. Before getting a wig sent out to me, I literally browsed through the website. This one is actually a bestseller. So they were actually really kind enough to send me one of their bestseller wigs, and I can literally see why this is a bestseller. My voice sounds a bit off. It's weird because I'm not sick anymore, but it just sounds a bit weird. But I'm not ill. I don't know, maybe because I talk too much. Anyways, this has no shedding, and obviously when you wet hair and you start brushing it whilst it's wet, you would expect it to shed, but I've had no shedding. I have straightened it, I'm not gonna lie. I straightened it the day that I got it, because when it started getting quite frizzy, I was like, don't know if I like that. So I started straightening it, and it was really nice, but then I ended up wetting it. I think I prefer it when it's wet and wavy, it just looks more natural. It just gives me like Pocahontas vibes, do you know what I mean? Oh, actually, do you know what? This gives me Kim K vibes. So if you want to get Kim K's waves, literally wet it and blow dry it and scrunch it up. This is actual Kim K vibes. I deeped it. Anyways, let me get to my story. Like, look how easily my fingers run through. I've got a broken nail. Let me just use one hand. Look how easy my fingers run through that. Literally amazing. And with long hair, you'd expect it to tangle really easily. By the way, this is tangle free. Shed free, tangle free, literally. I've not had any issues with this hair tangling. I've had it for about, I would say like 4 days. I only started like bleaching the lace yesterday, last night. I've had no issues with, like, you know, sometimes you have long hair and you move about and blah blah blah, or you sit down and you end up like sitting back on the hair and stuff, and then you have to brush it out. You don't. This you don't. I would not lie to you guys and tell you it doesn't tangle and it doesn't shed when it does, because at the end of the day, if you bite, you're going to see that I'm lying. But this doesn't shed and it does not tangle. That you can take my word on. Anyway, so basically, last year I was basically, I've been learning to drive on and off for the past 2 years. And I discovered automatic, and as soon as I discovered automatic, I was like, yep, this is the one. And it just became really easy for me to learn how to drive from then. And I was literally, when I say like I could drive, I mean like I can literally drive. I drove from like my area all the way to Pimlico, so that's about a 45-minute drive, and then a 45-minute drive back, like going on the dual carriageway, going on the highway, blah blah blah, back roads, everything, and I was absolutely fine. Never once was I in a situation where I was like, oh my god, like I don't know how to drive, or I stalled, or blah blah. Literally never. Obviously, if you drive automatic, you can know that it's super easy to drive automatic anyway. And I passed my theory, so I knew the road signs and stuff like that. So I was literally just like getting about. I was driving. I had a car. The only thing that I didn't have was a license, insurance, road tax, and MOT. Basically, pretty much everything that you need to be able to drive on the road. So I was illegally driving, guys. And I never got caught because, I guess because I was never driving in a way where I would need to get pulled over, if that makes sense. Like, I was lucky enough that when I was driving, police or nobody did any random checks. There was no reason to pull me over. I never got into an accident or anything like that, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, New Year's Eve, I drove all the way to Pimlico. I needed to drop something off. I was having a house party at my house for New Year's Day. So I went to go drop something off at my partner's auntie's house, and I drove all the way back home. So, mind you, I've driven 45 minutes and back and nothing's happened to me, haven't been pulled over or anything. So I'm like, I'm cool, I'm fine. So I'm getting ready for the New Year's party, and I'm at home with my partner and my sister. I'm just going to say Johan because I feel like you guys know him now. So I'm at home with Johan and my sister, and my friend is basically telling me like she's at the station, which is 5 minutes away from the house. And I feel like, yes, she could have gotten the bus because it's literally one bus and it's 5 minutes. But I was like, at the time I was like, you know what, I want to show off, like I can drive, I want to go pick up my friend, like I've never picked up my friend before. I just felt super cool and just felt like I wanted to show off, do you know what I mean? So I went to the station now, literally 2 to 5 minute drive. And I went to go pick up my friend and her friend. And as I'm driving, I couldn't find them. There's like a mini kind of like roundabout next to the station, and you can't stop. So as I'm driving, I'm trying to drive really slowly, but at the same time, I'm trying to look out for where she is. Can't find her. So I went to go round the roundabout again, but because I was so busy like trying to look for her, I didn't realise that I wasn't driving straight around the roundabout. I was kind of going into the other lane, and because I went to the other lane, I hit somebody's car. But the way this roundabout is, it's not like a massive one. It's literally like everyone drives super slow around it. So when I hit the car, it was literally like a nudge. It wasn't anything serious. It wasn't a car crash or anything like that. Like nobody was hurt. The guy's car didn't even have a scratch on it. That's how minor it was. So then he starts like flashing his lights at me, and at this point I'm literally shaking, like my hands are shaking on the wheel. I'm like, fuck, like what the fuck am I gonna do? So obviously he's flashing his lights at me because he wants me to pull over, but I'm like, how? Like I'm on a roundabout. So as I come off the roundabout, I literally just stop. I wasn't supposed to stop there. I literally stopped right before a zebra crossing. And it's a guy, he's about like my age, maybe like 1 or 2 years older. And he's in the car with his girlfriend, and he's literally like right behind me. I'm looking at him through my rearview mirror. And he comes at me on my window part, and he's literally screaming his head off at me. He's like, are you fucking blind? Like blah, blah, blah. Can't you see? You fucking hit my car, blah, blah, blah. And I was so scared, so I was just like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know I wasn't looking, I'm really sorry, I'm really, really sorry, like, forgive me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was literally like, I don't even want this guy to beat me up right now, or like, I get a nasty fine, or like, he calls the police or whatever. I don't know how these things work. Like, if you do hit somebody, I don't know if they have to contact the police straight away, or if they have to contact I don't know how this stuff works, but I'm thinking that he contacted the police, or that somebody saw something and contacted the police, because, after that happened, we went back to his car, and I was literally shaking, and I just felt sick, and I was just like, I just want to go home. Like, it literally completely killed my party vibe and everything. So I just like pulled up a little bit forward where you're allowed to park, and was waiting for my friend, and she finally found the car. And then when she came in, she was like, "Geez, Sarah, is that you whipping, blah, blah, blah." That automatically put me in a better mood because I was like, okay, cool, like I'm with my friends, I'm finally showing off like I wanted to from the start. So yeah, like she comes in and her friend comes in and sits at the back, and she sits at the front next to me. She's like, "I can't believe you're whipping now, blah, 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 check you." And I was just like, yeah, like, you know, whipping and that. Literally, I was so gassed. I was like, I'm picking up my friends, like, I'm the shit right now, I'm cool. I'm the cool one out of the bunch. So yeah, like she's gassing me, I'm getting gassed, my head's getting bigger, I'm feeling really cool. She doesn't know, mind you, that I don't have a license and I'm driving illegally. I feel like I don't need to tell her. I drive like a pro, like she will never know, it doesn't matter. So I pull off and I'm about to drive home, literally 2 to 5 minute drive home. And you know, I've just done a 45-minute drive to Pimlico and back and nothing happened. So what's the worst that could happen on this 2 to 5 minute drive? Honestly, I wish I just never took my car that day, and I wish that I wasn't in a rush to show off. Like, it's not that deep. As I'm driving, literally about 5 seconds after I pull out, sorry, there's literally like a police bully van behind me. And my first thought was just like, okay, they're just patrolling the area because it's New Year's Eve, like they're just coincidentally behind me. Because it's happened to me before, and I'll be out driving and there's a police car behind me. But they're not here for me. They're just driving and they end up going a different direction. Like, it's happened like 3 or 4 times. And it's like, no one's gonna randomly do a check on my car. So I realized that, you know, they're following me for quite a bit, and I'm like, something tells me that it's actually for me. So I'm like, let me test it out. So I pull into the petrol station that's literally like 2 seconds up the road. I pull into the petrol station, and obviously I don't tell my friends why I've pulled into the petrol station. They just think, okay, she's getting petrol. So I'm just sitting there in my car looking at the rearview mirror, and I'm thinking, please, like, drive by. And my heart is like pounding out of my chest. And, you know, 2 seconds later, the bully van was into the petrol station, and that's the moment that I knew that it was all over. I'm done. I'm getting arrested. I'm going to prison for like 5 to 10 years. Like, guys, I was so scared because I've never been in any trouble with the police. I've never been pulled over, like, just nothing like that, basically. So to see a police van pull over, I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like, I was so scared. And not only because I didn't have a license, but because of like the MOT, the road tax, the this, the that, the this, the that. And obviously, like, I was like, imagine they're here because obviously, like, they saw me hit the guy. Like, I'm gonna get into so much shit, and it's literally New Year's Eve. Like, I'm gonna ruin my New Year's Day. So I come out of the car, and even though I know they've come for me, I still try to act a bit dumb and come out of the car and act like I'm gonna get petrol. So I like come out and I like touch the petrol handle, and then a woman steps out of the van and she comes to me with a guy next to her, and I was just like, and they were basically like, "Oh, good evening, blah, blah, blah. Is that your car?" I was like, "Yeah." They were like, what did they say to me? They asked me a bunch of questions like, is that car registered to your name? Then the guy was like, he asked me for my name and my date of birth. And then I gave it to him. Then he was like, "Do you have a license?" And I was like, "Yeah." Even though I didn't. So he goes off and he like goes on his like little, it looked like a mini little iPad kind of thing. And then meanwhile, like, the woman's talking to me, and then the guy comes back and he's like, "Yeah, I've checked, you do have a license." He was like, "A provisional license." And I was just like, yeah, that's what I meant. Oh my God, like, the fact that I literally lied to them and got caught out, I feel like it just made everything worse, because it's like, if you could just tell the truth from the start and just be like, "I'm sorry, like, don't arrest me." But I lied, so it just looks even worse. It's like, 1, you're driving illegally, 2, you're lying to my face, and 3, I've just caught you out, and 4, do you want to go to prison right now? So anyways, I'm just like, yeah, that's what I meant, like a provisional license. Then he was like, "Do you have insurance to drive this car?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Do you have anything?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "I know, because I just checked." He was like, "You don't have MOT, you don't have insurance, you don't have road tax, you don't have a license." He was like, "You're not supposed to be driving this car, you know that." And I was just like, yeah, like, I just bought the car like 2 weeks ago. The owner that was selling it to me, like, he lied and told me that the car had everything and I didn't check yet, and I've got MOT test coming up and blah, 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 blah. I was like, I never even drive this car. Like, I literally just drove around the corner to look for somewhere to park and blah, blah, blah. He was like, "You've never driven this car before?" I was like, "No." He's like, "I don't believe that." And I was just like, it's because it's a lie. But basically, just taking down my details, they asked me if I can go step inside the van, and that's when I knew that I was done out here. at this point I felt super embarrassed because I'm like, my friends obviously now know the deal. How embarrassing. Guys, this is what happens when you try to show off. Like, I just got humbled real quick. So anyways, I'm in this van for about an hour and I'm messaging my boyfriend. I'm like, Joe, like, this is what happened. Like, I got pulled over, blah, blah, blah. And me and my boyfriend always joke about, especially me. I'm always like trying to prank him or saying like, oh, I got beat up. Like, come get me. And he was always like, oh, you're chatting shit. So when I said that to him, he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, see you at home. And that just pissed me off because it's like, I'm panicking here and you don't believe me. I was literally in capitals like, Joe, I swear to God, I'm in a fucking police van, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is not a joke. He was like, are you fucking serious? Like, blah, blah, blah. At this point, it was just him and my sister at home. And I was in that van for so long, like, just being asked questions and blah, blah, blah. Then after he was done, he was like, he said something really fast and he was like, you do not have to say anything, but if you do say something, it may hold up in court and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, I've seen this in movies. I'm going to prison. Like, I've heard this line before. I'm actually going to prison. He was like, do you have anything to say? Like, anything you do say, blah, blah, blah. And the thing I said was, am I going to prison? And then he wrote it down and he was like, sign here. So it basically said, after he asked me, do I have anything to say, my words were, am I going to prison? So that actually had to be noted down. He was like, no, you're not going to prison, but because this is going to go to court, I didn't have to attend the court, by the way, but because this is going to go court, like, the court is going to take place without you present, but we still need to know if you have anything to say. Then I had to go online and submit my plea, which was whether I pleaded guilty or not guilty, whatever. It was just long, and finally, like, they let me go and said that after the judge makes a decision, like, it's going to be emailed to me and it's going to be sent to my door with the judge's jury, oh, I don't even know, guys. But so I had to take everything out of the car and they took my car away from me. There was actually a pram in the boot, so yes, I had to take a bus back home with an empty pram and my friends, and it was embarrassing. Let me just tell you that, okay? It was embarrassing. How did I show up whipping and I'm getting back home on the bus with an empty pram and my friends? Like, can you just deep how embarrassing that is, please? But yeah, I got home and, you know, my boyfriend and my sister were just completely unbothered. They were just drinking and chilling and listening to music as if I didn't just get arrested. And then they were like to me, when I came home, there was like 2 or 3 of our friends and they were all like, free Sarah, blah, 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 just taking the piss out of me. I'm like, guys, I'm not in the mood. I'm literally shaking up. And then my boyfriend was like, you know, like when you were gone and you was in the police car, me and your sister were like, oh, should we cancel the party? Then they looked at each other and they were like, nah, and they continued drinking. Guys, they didn't actually care. But anyways, like, I felt sick and everything, but I was like, it's New Year's Eve, I'm not gonna go into the new year in this negative mood. Like, my car got taken away from me, so what, I could buy another one, whatever. So yeah, I enjoyed my night and whatever, but then obviously like weeks later, or maybe it was even a month later, I got the letter to say that like this many points are gonna be taken off and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, so as soon as I get my license, like, I'm fucked. Yay. But yeah, I'm literally this close to get my license now. I've been taking my lessons regularly. I can actually drive now. All I need to do is learn how to do one thing and then I'm ready for my test and I'm gonna pass it in Jesus' name. Thank you. But yeah, that is what happened. And this was, so we are in 2019. Yep, this was 2018 or 2017 New Year's Eve going into 2018. No, what am I talking about? It was 2018 New Year's Eve going to 2019 New Year's Day. So it was actually recent. It was like the beginning of this year. That's when this happened. And yeah, guys, just like, don't be stupid like me. If you don't have a license, just don't drive, okay? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed my story time. Before I go, just to remind you guys that down below, I'll put the link in the description box to purchase this hair. It will be the direct link. I will also be putting a discount code for you guys. If you're thinking like you want to get it but you're not too sure, get it, trust me. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, please. I'm on my way to 10k and I need to hit it before the end of the year, and only you guys can make that happen, and I'll be so appreciative. So if you're here till the end if you stayed here till the end of the video, thank you so much, appreciate you. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. I'm literally trying to end up this video so quick before my battery dies. Turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video. And yeah, all that good stuff, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.